One of the forms available to the chapters is this payment plan agreement. This is a basic template if you have a member who needs to go on a payment plan if they can't afford their dues at the local level, to be able to hold them accountable. What happens a lot of times is a member will have issues, a payment plan's worked out, and it becomes a he said, she said. There's turnover in the executive board, and proper records aren't kept, and nobody knows if the person ever paid their dues, if they didn't, and it turns into who's going to yell louder, or a lot of issues can come from that. This is a very easy way to put everything on paper, to understand where somebody is in terms of their paying off their dues, and hold them accountable so that if chapter does have to expel somebody for not meeting their financial obligations, it's on paper and this is what happens. So you just put the active member that needs to be on the payment plan here, the address in the event that you need to send a letter asking for what they may still owe, what chapter they're from, the amount per month that they're agreeing to, how they're going to deliver this. The reason we put this in here is because a lot of times it becomes a cash exchange before or after meeting with somebody from e-board or with a fellow brother, and they're supposed to deliver it to that e-board member, and that never happens. This is this is who you deliver it to and how you deliver it, and then there's no question on it, and then always, always, always get a receipt if you're on a payment plan so that you can verify that this happens. This is usually the treasurer, but again, up to the chapter's discretion on how they want to handle this. The date of the agreement and the outstanding balance to be paid. So then there's some language in here that's been reviewed by some lovely lawyers on when and how this can work. So the language that's in here is primarily to make sure that the chapter is protected and to protect the person in the agreement. So, real quick overview. I'm not a lawyer, but this is the best that we could do in order of making sure that everybody's protected. Essentially, you want to make sure that the delivery location, whether it be a chapter meeting or in the mail to the box on campus, or to the um, chapter house, or to the chapter president, or whoever it is, or wherever it is, just needs to be there on or before the first of every month until the outstanding balance is paid. The next part is essentially saying that if you enter into the agreement and you break the agreement, that it allows chapter the feasibility to cast you from the fraternity if they haven't already. If they're allowing you to go into a payment plan to get out of this situation. This number 3 is a key point. If you have somebody who enters into an agreement and they owed $500 and then they opt to quit, this provision allows you to still continue to pursue that debt, as it wouldn't be right for them to enter into an agreement and try and meet chapter halfway and then try and walk out on their responsibilities. So that just allows you to pursue the pursue the amounts owed to the chapter. And the agreement can't be applied to future debt, so that you can't say you're going to go on a payment plan for the next 5 years worth of dues. It's just how many dues or dollars are owed chapter at the time of the agreement. The reason that is because it's tough to sometimes forecast that, and you don't know how long you will be in chapter, whether it's for whatever reason, and you don't want to have to back pay and change the agreement. So it's best to just say, this is how much based on the current amount owed. You print it out once you negotiate these terms, and everybody prints and signs and dates, and this is kept on record. There should be a record kept with the member and a record kept with chapter, and at every exchange of a payment, a receipt should be made and kept on record with the treasurer, kept within the uniform bookkeeping system, and with the member in the payment plan, so that if a turnover comes in and the new treasurer says, I have no record of you paying, the member can say, well, here's the record that I have, and it should line up, and this is how much is there. I've had a number of stories and situations where people paid the treasurer and the treasurer embezzled, disappeared, or lost records, and people had no proof that they actually did pay their dues. That's a good rule to follow no matter what. Whenever you pay anything to anybody, much less directly to the fraternity, ask for a receipt, have some way of tracking that information.